It is hot here in July. Welcome back to the Rodeo Show podcast. My name is Barrett, and with me, as always, my co-host Jordan Briggs. What's up, Jordan?
Hey man, how's it going today?
Dude, it's good. We are in the thick of it here in July. We've got a crazy show to talk about, so I'm ready to get right into it. Honestly, I'm excited.
It's hot in Texas, it's hot in Tennessee, so why not do the hot five right off the bat?
No kidding. We have a good one. Starting off, number one, John Crimber is out of the PRCA competition right now with a groin injury. And I actually, before we started recording, I saw a photo. I don't remember where I saw it. It's on Instagram somewhere of his leg. And some people were saying, oh, it's possible. It's a groin injury. I promise you. It looked nasty, black and blue. If that was truly John Crimber, that is a tough one.
Yeah, I missed the rodeo. I had a couple of players actually reach out and they were like, hey, is he riding still? And I was like, I don't even know what happened. And they were like, well, he was limping out of the arena. So I don't know if he got stepped on, if it was just a straight, really bad pull while he was riding or what. But I know a lot of guys have talked about, especially in bull riding specifically, those groin injuries are some of the hardest things to come back from. They're like, we'd rather break a bone and heal that back than deal with a groin injury because it takes so long to get back to 100%.
Well, and I'm no bull rider, but you'd have to imagine you're holding on with the groin, and everything in your legs. And yeah, that's a tough one. I didn't see it. I think I saw the bull ride, but I didn't really see, there wasn't like a definitive thing to me. I think he came up, limping, and I thought, oh, maybe it's just nothing. But if the photo that I saw was the actual photo, he's going to be hurting for a little bit. So we obviously wish him well, but yeah, down with a groin injury, and so the real question here is, where does that put the rest of his season, right? Like the PRCA season, he's obviously up there. I think he's still top five in the bull riding, or maybe not top five, but he's in there, right? But what does this do to the rest of his season, and then even in the PBR season? Where does all that track now?
Yeah, I was already kind of questioning, how he was going to balance this because there's going to be so much competition of time between these PBR teams events, which are all going to be on the weekends, and then his rodeos, which you can kind of work around and get in some of these, midweek perfs and then make it back to a PBR teams event. But the weekends are where the finals are. That's where the big money is. So if you ride in the prelims and then turn out in the finals, it's going to be really difficult to truly go after a world title. And maybe this will kind of change his path if he does take a long time to come back from this, and then he's kind of out of the world title race at that point. Then maybe we see him just lay back into the PBR teams for this year. But I checked in the admin, and he is entered as Salinas, and he's currently not marked a doctor release there. But that doesn't mean that he's not going to turn out anyway, and potentially extend that doctor release. I think when I was looking at it earlier, you and I talked about this. There's a 4-day, a 10-day, and a 30-day doctor release. And for him to not be marked doctor release on all those told me that he did it as a 4-day or potentially even a 10-day, but not a 30 because that would have been far enough to have him turned out at Salinas. So maybe he thinks he can come back. I don't know. Total speculation on my part.
Yeah, no doubt. But you know what? I think we've got a long period before the end of the season. If he can stay in that top 15 race, if you just make it to the NFR, you can really still pull out a pretty good opportunity at the NFR. So, he's a young kid. If I pulled a groin like that, right now I'd be out. I'd be out for a bit. But with him, he'll bounce right back, and he'll start getting on some practice bulls and be ready to rock. Or you know what? He may just shock us and just interrupt some.
I'm pretty sure he could ride any bull with two pulled groins better than I could fully healthy. So, he's got that going for him.
Yeah, no doubt there. Cool. Lead us into number two, Jordan.
We're going to stay on the bull riding topic. We got a lot of bull riding because there's a lot of storylines around the bull riding, but number two is Tristan Hutchings and Stetson Wright. They've made some statements in July. Tristan, along with Noah Lee, who we will touch on a little bit later, but Tristan is really doing well. I think this is the season of his life. He's number one in the world. He's got a little bit of a lead over number two, and he's kind of maintaining it. For a minute there, he was starting to that lead was shrinking, but he's doing well. Stetson didn't really do great at Calgary, but he did okay, made some money. That's the thing. Everywhere Stetson goes, he's still winning money, even if he's not first place. But those two guys are going to make this fun to watch. It's really going to be a three-man race for the world, in my opinion. But the two guys that are kind of been around for a minute and they're not rookies, Stetson and Tristan, like they're riding good.
Yeah, they are riding good. And we always talk about like chipping away at rodeos and just making a little bit of money here, making a little money there. But both of these guys came out swinging, and they didn't make a little bit of money. They made a pot full of money. I mean, I think Tristan made 21,000 and some change with his win, and then Stetson with a little bit over 14,000. So I mean, there's not that much between the two of them, and they're just going to battle it out all the way down to the wire, I think. And then we'll have a big show come December.
Yeah, Stetson is. I looked at it just a little bit ago. Did some math. He's 34,000 according to Pro Rodeo right now, as it is today. He's 34,000 behind Tristan, but that's a round win and then some money in another round, and you're right there again. So, like you were saying earlier, the same thing rings true here. When you make it to the finals, it's anybody's game because there's enough money there to really change the whole scope of the way the world race looks.
Yeah, I mean that 34,000 is a round and a half difference, right, at the NFR. So there really is not that much. It sounds like a big numbers, obviously, like we're not talking about chump change here, but I mean it's really not that big of a difference in the span of it. So yeah, this is definitely a race that we're going to be interested in looking for. And both these guys, I mean, they ride bulls so stinking well. I mean, it's like just like you were saying, they can get on any bull at any given time and make it look just fantastic. So yeah, I love seeing it, and I love seeing the bull riders just go out and do well. And so these guys are definitely doing that.
Yeah, and then, injury comes into play there too. Like, if we don't see any injuries, like, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah, and did Stetson hurt his back a little bit? I thought I saw something where he had kind of tweaked maybe a disc or something. I can't remember where it was, but maybe
I think earlier in the season, he was fighting a little bit of that, and that's the thing about Stetson is him along with all these Cowboys, they're so tough, so they really don't talk about it when it's like injuries they can work around and work with. But like an injured Stetson, kind of like we were joking about earlier with John and me, like an injured Stetson is still a superior bull rider and can ride bulls other guys will buck off of, even when he's not 100%. So like I gotta think that we might not be seeing 100% healthy Stetson at the moment.
Yeah, and you know what? We're going to get down to the point in the season where, like, you might not see very many healthy guys out there. I mean, it's just kind of the way the season goes. So it's kind of one of those things where who can tough it out the longest, who can kind of grit and bear their teeth, get through it, keep picking up some money, make it into the top 15, and go on to Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of cowboying up through this stretch of summer that's going to beat a lot of guys up.
No doubt. We're gonna talk a little bit more about injuries here in a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah. And so number 3, shocker, is kind of connected to number 2, or at least one of the guys we talked a lot about is going to be involved in the conversation. And that is the all-around race already out of reach for the rest of the field.
Man, it kind of looks like it. I mean, $182,000 lead over second place, Wasey Shala. Like, I don't know if that's out of range, right? Especially with Wasey being out right now. But $182,000 lead is a big lead, and it keeps getting poured on, it seems like, every week.
I mean, you got to look at it this way. $182,000 is what some guys will make in a full season. And he has made that and more already, enough to have that much of a lead over. And we're not talking about scrubs. Now, Wasey is hurt, like you mentioned, so he's not adding to the total. But drop down one spot, and you've got Brushton Minton in third on that. And Brushton is $198,000 behind Stetson. So, in my opinion, barring a real injury with Stetson that takes him out of competition, I gotta think that it is all but wrapped up. I mean, if he's healthy, he's going to ride and he's going to make money. And Stetson would almost have to just stop riding for months for somebody to be able to make it up, especially somebody like a Brushton Minton, who is, when it comes to the timed event end and the way that they're making money, these guys aren't going and competing in both events every rodeo. Stetson is entering saddle bronc and bulls at every rodeo and pulling checks at every rodeo. So, I mean, it's almost like a perfect recipe for Stetson to hold on to a massive lead like that.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? I'm going to put it out there right now. I think we need to see Stetson team roping or calf roping or something. We got to get a third event in here for Stetson because he's making it look too easy on 2. Just go ahead and put 3 in there and like make me feel better. I mean, Trevor was winning them on 3, right? A lot of times. Mm-hmm. Come on, Stetson. Like, just give me a third event so we can watch you one more time, and then that'll make a $189,000 lead like a little bit more manageable for me. So, no, I'm kidding. I mean, it's amazing having $189,000, almost $200,000 lead in the early stage of July and being like, I got the all around wrapped up. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm with that though, man. Like that brings up something. If anyone is listening to this and you've got a connection with Stetson, let's get in his ear, because you know what's better than a Triple Crown? Throwing up a Triple Crown and then topping it off with the Linderman Award. I
mean, look, his brother Ryder's already. I mean, he's already roping. So like, Stetson, come on, like, just how about that? How about we just do Ryder and Stetson? Rusty, if you want to get in there, anybody else that wants to get in there, that's fine. But like, let's just get you into team roping. Like, somebody head, somebody heel, just enter up together. You're already there together. You're already helping each other on the other events. Just give us one more.
Exactly. I'm with that. I think that would be very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's do it. All right, everybody in the comments, let us know if you want to see the Wright brothers pick up team roping and start entering up.
Yep, and I think the team ropers are all going to say, no, we'll pass on that because we've seen how good he is at everything he does.
They'll tell him, hey, y'all got to go to Bulldog and you got to go to calf roping or something. Team roping's locked up. Y'all can't enter. Oh, goodness. All right, let's get on to Calgary Stampede. What do you got for me, Jordan?
Man, what a legendary rodeo it is, and it's such a fun rodeo to watch. There's so many storylines coming out of Calgary. I mean, Tryson Calavaya won a round today. I'm a big Tryson fan, younger guy, bulldogging and starting to get really, really good at it too. He's on his way to hopefully making his first NFR this year. You've got Carly Otero who's tearing it up. You've got this bull rider race. I mean, you have Tristan and Noah in the same pool, which ended today. So we know both of them are moving on, and that's going to be a really fun championship round to watch too. But around Calgary, I kind of, more than the competition, wanted to talk about some of the things that are surprising to me. And it's just surprising because I've never looked into it. A lot of people are probably familiar with it, but the way the PRCA counts the earnings from the Calgary Stampede is very interesting to me. And I don't know, Barrett, if you knew this before we recently started talking about it, but the PRCA only counts 70% of the pool payout that the Cowboys and Cowgirls earn through the pool competition toward PRCA standings, and then in the championship round, it pays $50,000 to win first place. PRCA counts 50% of that $50,000, but then second on down in the final championship round counts 100%.
Why? What are we doing here? Like, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall when they decided how that works out. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, is there another rodeo, especially a big one, that does that? Like, San Antonio doesn't do that. Houston doesn't do that, I don't think. Like, no. I mean, Houston doesn't do it. If Houston doesn't do it, why are we doing it at Calgary?
Right. And if I'm not mistaken, Houston pays $50,000 to win as well. Does it not?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that $50,000 counts. And, yeah. And how often do you hear people talk about this every year in the world races, how big of a deal winning those big indoor rodeos is to somebody's season? Like, it sets up your entire season to make a run at a world title. I don't know if maybe because of the time of the year that Calgary falls, if it's that they got to this level of added money later than Houston did. I wouldn't think that would be the case. Or even if it, like you said, is something to do with the Canadian exchange. I don't know, but I would love to know, and I'm sure somebody out there does know and could educate us.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me because, like you said, a lot of those guys, they go to these big rodeos to kind of see how their spring and summer is going to fall. Like, if they don't do well in the winter, they may just kind of putz around through the spring and the summer. Like, I didn't win the big ones. I didn't pick up second or third or whatever. So I would love to know because, you're going to go and you're going to compete and you're going to work hard to win a rodeo like Calgary, right? That's like, it's going to be on your results tab forever that you won Calgary. But they're like, well, we're only going to pay 50%, we're only going to pay 70%. Like, let them keep all that earning because I mean, I would be mad if I go out and I put on a great heck of a week in Calgary, and then I get down to the end of the season and I don't make the NFR, and that I mean, we sometimes we talk about $100 being the difference between going to the NFR and not going to the NFR, and if I didn't get all the money that I should have for winning one of the biggest and most prestigious rodeos out there, like, man, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I mean, there may be some stipulations that I don't know. There's so many rules in the PRCA, and it's difficult, especially for somebody who's never been a PRCA competitor, and I'm sure it's hard for even the ones that are, to really keep up with it and understand why they make some of the rules they do. But it seems like such a mismark because, one, props to Calgary for having that kind of money to pay out. But I'm convinced, too, that, part of it is that you can't just enter Calgary. As far as I understand it, you have to qualify in or there's a process to where not just anyone can just enter. So it could potentially have something to do with that. But I also understand the same thing to be Houston and the other indoor wintertime rodeos is not just anyone can enter those.
Yeah, certainly, and especially like I'm thinking about kind of our hometown rodeo being San Antonio. Like there is a qualifying process. You have to go down to Uvalde and qualify. So like from that perspective, if you went down to Uvalde and qualified and you worked your butt off to make sure that you were entered in San Antonio, then you did so well to get through all the brackets that you have to get through in order to get to the short go. And then after it, you win it, and they're like, well, guess what? You don't get all of the towards your year end. That doesn't make sense to me. I would love actually for somebody to tell me how that or why that is in place. It might make more sense, but from the outside looking in, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So I don't know.
Yep, I agree. I just thought that would be a good one to bring up and kind of discuss on here. And it would be good for folks to get in the comments and let us know if they already know why and just their opinion on it too.
And it could certainly be something that it's just like it's always been like this and we just keep it like this. And, that's fine. I get it. So I'm with you there. But, yeah, I'm glad you brought it up because I didn't know.
Yeah. So good topic for discussion there. But that's number 4. And number 5, it to me, it's a sad one, but, like, it's a good one too. And that is that Richmond Champion goes out on top his last ride in pro rodeo with a 90-point ride at Calgary Stampede.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. I mean, he said it in Rodeo Live over in Reno that it was going to be his last, and I think everybody was, understandable about it, and was obviously people are sad to see him go. But look, if you're going to go out, if you're going to say, hey, look, I've had a heck of a career, let's just be done with it. 90-point ride and a round win at Calgary, that'll work.
Absolutely, it would, and I've thought about that too because, I was talking to Rachel about that and I said, man, can you imagine your last ride being a 90-point ride because you're going out on top, you laid it all out there, but at the same time, when you sit back and you're like, man, I'm still riding 90-point bucking horses. Maybe I'm not done, but, I'm sure that a lot of it has to do with family and just time away from home. And like the road takes a lot. Like to really run a world title, these guys have got to stay gone from home all the time. And that's got to be difficult with kids at home and a family.
Yeah, no doubt. And so I totally get it. Look, he's a 9-time NFR qualifier. Always a pleasure to watch ride bucking horses. And so, yeah, look, good on him. Good luck to him the rest of his career. I know he's got some stuff lined up, I'm sure, after rodeo. So, yeah, Richmond Champion. What a way to go out, and obviously one of my favorites to watch.
Yeah, I agree with you and echo everything you just said. What a great guy. And I'm sure we'll be seeing him on TV. He's good at that too.
He's really good at that, yeah. It's funny to see, like, sometimes when people are done or starting to kind of end their career, some of them start to get a little bit of TV time and a little bit of analysis time, if you will, and some don't pan out. Like, it's just not their strength, but Richie, he does a good job with it. So, yeah, I like seeing him on TV.
Yeah. Well, that is this week's Hot 5. And like we've said before, if you guys got anything that you want us to talk about, you can DM us or comment, and we'll be sure to include it on the next one. But that'll wrap up the Hot 5, and we'll move on to our competitor spotlight this week. And we'll start it off, as I said earlier, you're going to hear about this guy with the rough stock and Noah Lee. So Noah is currently second in the world, right behind Tristan Hutchings. He won $21,533 in his pool, which was just a couple $100 more than Tristan won in the same pool. And these guys are making it so fun to watch. I think he was, I want to say first and third and first or something like that. I mean, he's pretty dominant. His first round at Calgary was a 90.5 point ride. He won that round. That earned him $77.50. And then to our conversation earlier, 70% of that will go toward his standings, and 70% of that $21,000 will go toward his standings. So he's not hurting for dollars right now, but he's also in this head-to-head race with Tristan that is like two Goliaths going against each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's been riding really, really well, and we actually did it on Pro Fantasy Radio. We did he was our this week's heating up, and I had actually already started the process of that before this. So it's I mean, even in one of our other videos, somebody said oh, who do you think is going to do the best in July? And somebody said Noah Lee, and he was like, yep, I'm on it, and just starts just absolutely putting on a show. It's funny. He just seems like he's just out there having a ball. Sometimes you see competitors and it's very serious and they're just kind of stressed out through the whole deal because July is crazy, and especially the 4th of July shenanigans. But Noah Lee's just out there having a blast.
I mean, what a dream. The kid can ride anything he gets on. Nothing seems to intimidate him. No stage seems too big. They're interviewing him on the back of the chutes at Calgary, and exactly like you just said, he's just having fun. He's giving the glory to God. And they're like, what's your plan? What are you going to? He's like, I'm just going to get on every one of them and take them one at a time and just keep having fun. And he's just not stressing. And that's the thing that goes so far. We've talked about this before, just the mental aspect of competing. You've got to be focused, and I'm positive if you get on the back of the chutes 30 seconds before he gets on a bull, he's focused. But that's fun to him. It's getting on and strapping a ranked bull and coming off 90.5 points and $7,000 richer. That would make anybody have a blast.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think he's just a very athletic guy, kind of a smaller frame guy, but it doesn't seem like any bull he gets on, he's out of a match with, you know what I mean? It doesn't seem this bull's not going to fit him or that bull's not going to fit him. It's just whatever he sits on in the chute, he's got it, right? And obviously some are going to get him, he's not going to ride everything, but I mean, he seems like he fits well and meshes well with a lot of bulls. So look, I mean, we have in our show notes 24 first place checks since February. Excuse me. There's some guys that don't get 24 checks all year, and he's got 24 first place checks since February.
Yeah, he's cleaning up, man.
Ranked.
And it's fun to watch. That's the word. He's ranked. Noah Lee is ranked.
Yeah. And his dad rode bulls, is that right?
Yeah, Mike Lee was a PBR world champion, and he definitely passed those genes down.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if Noah's one of those guys that'll bounce between PBR and PRCA.
You never know. It seems like that they get into the PRCA and they go run just that nostalgic, real, well-known world title or world champion, and then they start to do a little bit of math and figure out that there's an opportunity on the other side to make a little bit of money. But I think he's doing it right. I think he's going after it when he's young because it's so many more miles and all over the place and all night drives to run the pro rodeo trail. And then when you get on that PBR side, then you can slow it down just a little bit. You can be home for 3 or 4 days and then take a flight and get there and compete and then head back home on a Sunday night and be home with your family and have much more of a kind of routine around it rather than just the craziness of being on the road. But at the same time, when you're young, there's a whole lot of fun to be had out there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And he may do the same thing that a lot of these guys do. Sage Kimsa did it, right? Sage PRCA for a long time, and it was just you know what, I'm going to slow this thing down a little bit, go after some PBR titles and see what happens. So, I don't know. Kind of the world is Noah Lee's oyster at the moment.
Yeah, and I'm sure that a lot of these PBR teams coaches are just really chomping at the bit to try to draft him if he does enter the draft. And it's kind of like we're talking about with John Crimber. There's definitely an opportunity to compete and run at a world title on both sides if you wanted to just do regular season PBR. Now that they've put it in the wintertime, it kind of lines out with finishing up just in time to hit the big summer run of rodeos and make a run at the NFR. So, I mean, there's a world where that's much more of an option nowadays for a guy than it was, 4 or 5 years ago before this team series came about.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he could do it all, and he's been super exciting to watch, and it's not going to slow down till probably the round 10 of the NFR after it.
Yeah, I can say this. I really regret not getting him on my team. I did get John Crimber, and I was excited about that, and then the injury happened, and now I'm like, man, it sure would have been nice to have all that money Noah just made.
I know, and it's funny. I think I even had enough money if I really wanted to go after it that I could have. Like at the end of it, I think I did have a little bit left over, and it was one of the first times that I actually had money left over after making a team, right? Because usually when you get down to it, it's like you have $0, right? I think I still had a little bit of money, and I probably could have picked him, but oh well, no big deal.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's our rough stock guy, Noah Lee. And next we got timed event for the men. And who you got for that, Barrett?
So we talked a little bit earlier about somebody running away with their event race. We talked about it in the all-around, but Tyler Wagispack, he could be running away with the bulldogging side of things. I mean, he is $133,000 ahead. Like, I mean, he is out of his mind compared to the field. I was looking up his stats earlier, and I'll pull it up here in a second. But, I mean, he's just, like, sometimes events are close. Sometimes they're kind of spread out. It just seems like it is Tyler, and then everybody else is behind them. So, let me pull this up real quick. I had it up earlier, and then I got busy doing something, and I didn't. So, let's see. Tyler Wagispack. All right, so let's see. He's got 133,000. So, excuse me, 133,000 is what he's won. He is ahead of the next closest guy. The next closest guy is 97,000. So
$36,000 lead.
Yeah, he's got a big spread. And I mean, and even after the next closest guy, I mean, it feels like it just drops off of a cliff as far as earnings. So yeah, Wags is he's always on my pick, during our NFR game. But like right now, I mean, look, 5 world titles. He is up by a lot at the very beginning of July. Like, it could be running away with it for sure.
Yeah, he's one of the guys I pull for too. I'm like you. I almost always pick him on my team unless he's at the very top, which he does happen to be a lot of times, and I just don't have the money because I've picked other athletes too much money. Like, I like to get behind Wags because he knows how to win. There's absolutely no pressure too much for him because he's gone to how many NFRs and won how many world titles. Like, he knows the roadmap to get back to the gold buckle, and I think he's going to take that this year, and I really hope he does because I'd love to see it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we've seen crazier things happen. Like Will Loomis last year had a big lead and just, it just didn't really fall his way. But, I mean, he's sitting the number 1 in the world by a long shot. And like you said, 5 world titles. He's been there 11 times. Has he been there 11 times consecutively? That would be a good, interesting thing to know.
I think he may have.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all. So, that
was 2015 to 2025, and he
crazy.
Was 2016, 2018 was the average title winner. So, yeah. I mean, that tells you how well he bulldogs at the NFR. And then his 5 PRCA titles were 16, 18, 21, 22, and 23.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, he became a member in 2011, right? Took him a couple of years to get there. And then once he was at the NFR, he was there. He's like, This is my house. I like these yellow chutes. Like, let's just stay here. So, yeah, Tyler Wagispack, he is our men's timed event spotlight because he's running away with it right now.
Heck yeah, I agree. And now for the ladies' timed event, we're going to talk about Carly Otero. She's somebody that's been tearing it up too, and we've talked a lot about Calgary just for the simple fact it's happening right now, and there's so much money to be won there, especially if you stay consistent all the way through. And she's doing that. She was first, third, and first in her 3 performances so far, which is impressive because she's also in a stacked pool. And she's won $18,416 in her pool at the 3 rounds. She was number 5 in the world before Calgary, so I'm really interested to see how the world standings shake up after all this Calgary money gets added in. You know, like we said, it'll just be 70%, but when you're making 18,000 and then a shot at 50,000, she could potentially end up, adding 25 to 30,000 if she does well to her world standings, which completely changes the world title race picture on the barrel racing side.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, and we talked about it. We've talked about it a little bit, but just like the consistent money that's coming in. One money in Greeley, one money in Cody, one money in St. Paul, and then now we're here in Calgary, and she's still winning money. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I hadn't looked at the standings just yet, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she's in the top 3 by the end of it, especially if she goes out there and has a really good short go, picks up a lot of money there. Like, you never know.
Yeah. And it's so fun to watch her run. And she's also one of those that runs really well at the NFR. And that's kind of the thing, too, I've noticed a lot. And I think in the barrel racing, it tends to happen this way. There's different styles of horses in these different pins. I mean, you think about it in all the other events, you're drawing what you're competing on. And the barrel racing, they're not. It's them and their horse. And they've got multiple horses. And some of them have really good big pin horses. Some of them have really good ones for small pins. And when you get to the NFR, it's small pin time, and you've got to have a horse that does well in the Thomas and Mack because it's such a unique spot, and she's got horses that do well there. So if you get to the Thomas and Mack and you have kept yourself really high in the standings, you're really positioned well to go through there 10 days, make money every round, get the average win, and bring home a gold buckle.
Yeah, no doubt. She's been absolutely on it. Her horsepower is amazing, so I don't think she's going to be slowing down, and by the time she gets to Thomas and Mack, she'll be ready to rock.
I agree, and I would definitely look at her for my fantasy team when we get there.
No doubt.
I am pretty sure she's on my team for Christmas in July. I'll have to check again, but she's making me some money this week. I know that.
Yeah, no, I think I have Andrea Busby, maybe.
Yep, another really good one.
Yeah, and I actually met her, and she's great. She's an awesome lady. But yeah, Carla Otero, man, and she was actually on PFR Edge the other day, wasn't she?
She was.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
She was our Dirt and 5 guest, and she was a good one too.
Yeah. So no, she's gonna keep doing it. Like we said, just keep pulling money in every place you go if you can, and it'll be fine.
You bet. That's our athlete spotlight for this week. But moving on, we're just going to kind of talk a little bit of fun stuff here. Some of it's fun, some of it's not so fun. But I wanted to kind of bring up TV shows and talk about just some of the stuff that's came out in recent years, even the last year, that has kind of made an impact. A lot of people talk about the Yellowstone effect and how much it turned people onto the Western world and the Western industry and everybody buying cowboy hats. And some of the people involved in that have continued to do other shows and kind of carry that torch on. I'm happy to see it, man. Like, I don't know, are you guys watching Dutton Ranch or any of those shows that are out right now?
Yeah, we've been watching Dutton Ranch. We watched, I guess, so it was Yellowstone, and then there was 1883 and
1923.
1923, that's right. So we watched those. We didn't quite get through all of those. It was just kind of a lot, and we were doing a whole bunch of other stuff. But those are definitely shows that we need to go back and rewatch. But we are watching Dutton Ranch right now. Great show. Obviously, it's going to have an effect. I mean, people see the culture, they see the lifestyle, they see the rodeos, and kind of everything goes along with it. And they go, hey, look, that is a great way to live your life, which we already knew, but a lot of people are kind of just now getting into it. So with that comes a whole new set of rodeo fans that are, they were probably fans of other sports, and then they were like, look, we love this lifestyle. Like, what is this rodeo thing? And then here they are, and I'm glad to see it, right? We always love to see things grow, things that we love grow and grow the right way, and it seems like it is right here in the rodeo.
Yeah, and we watch a lot of TV. I mean, we just end up naturally in the evenings finding shows and binging them. We cut our direct TV, so now everything we have streaming. So we end up binging stuff because it's all there and ready to watch. And like I miss them so much when you finish the season and you're like, man, when's this coming out again? So like I want more and more of that stuff. And like Cowboy Channel has done a great job. We were talking about this a little bit ago, and you brought up the Hell on Wheels with Rocker Steiner. The show was really well done. It was so entertaining because we talk about a lot in the rodeo industry compared to other sports, how little TV exposure our athletes get because, I mean, a bull ride is 8 seconds long. So from the time they start showing a cowboy behind the chutes to the time his ride's over is, sometimes honestly less than 30 seconds. And you just don't have time to get to see a cowboy's personality or get to know them at all. So shows like Hell on Wheels really goes a long way for introducing people to it and showing the personality behind it and what all goes into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing that that I think is really important to see what these athletes actually have to do in order to make it to December, right? A lot of people tune in when the NFL round one kicks off, but they don't see the other 11 months that these guys have been on the road, they've been hurt, they've been trying to juggle family life and rodeo life and travel and making money to feed the family and like doing all these things and chasing their dreams, obviously. So that one's a great one. Shad Mayfield has a new one that's coming out. So, and I'm hoping that they're going to show, maybe some of the injury stuff. I don't know. I don't remember when it was filmed, but, I think hopefully they're working on another rocker season. And maybe if they are, they're getting this element of him being hurt and trying to rehab and come back. So they're all really great things. I think the mainstream TV shows do a good job of bringing people in, and I'm hoping that Cowboy Channel and everybody that surrounds it are going to help to do things that are in the similar manner to make sure that we keep those rodeo fans that are new to the industry. So, look, I mean, it's all exciting to watch. I love it. I'm glad. I'm glad that athletes are really taking it upon themselves to also show some other sides of theirs, because I think for a long time that was they kind of hid away from that a little bit. And you see a lot of guys now and gals embrace the social media side of things and show people what it's like being on the road and going to different spots and preparing for stuff. So if we keep on this path, we're going to be able to see a lot of really cool behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, and vlogs and stuff too. We've also got into watching a lot of things on YouTube, and I love good vlogs. And I also, and Barrett, I know you do too. You know what goes into shooting and editing and getting vlogs out when you're just trying to go and enjoy events and travel and live life. And Matt Merritt's a guy that's doing a really great job of showing a lot of behind the scenes on his YouTube. There's other guys getting it. Cody Webster is doing a really great job of that too. And to back up just a minute before we move forward, if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about with those shows, you can go to cowboyplus.com. And I think some of this is even on the Cowboy Channel YouTube for free to watch. But there's the documentary coming out on Shad. There was Hell on Wheels with Rocker Steiner. There was one that focused on Haley Kinsel. And then there was also one that followed the bareback riders specifically through a season. And all those are great shows. So if you haven't watched them, go check them out, and you're going to enjoy them. But back to what I was saying, the vlogs are super personal too. And that's the cool thing to me, is you get to see a lot of personality in those that you may not get to see even on a show on the Cowboy Channel following these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the vlogs really are the best way to see behind the scenes access, what it's like on a day-to-day basis. So I would love to see more people doing them. I know that it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of editing. Like, I understand that. So I think some guys and gals are starting to hire some friends or give the camera to friends and let them do it, which is fine. But we need more of it, because it's only going to make the sport better, or hopefully. And really, it also might inspire the next generation that says, like, well, okay, that's kind of a cool way to live, a way of life. And so maybe I'll try that. I hadn't thought about trying to be a PRCA bull rider, but let's give it a shot. So we'll see, but they're all good things. They're all great entertainment on my end, so keep them coming.
I couldn't agree more. I enjoy every minute of it. And if you're listening to this and you're thinking about vlogging, do it. I'm going to watch it. You send your stuff. I'm going to subscribe. I'll like all your videos. I'll comment. I'll help out every way I can as a viewer.
No doubt. Me too. I understand it. So, yeah, love it. Let's
Shoot,
talk
so
a little bit of less than fun news. There was a house fire here recently. I don't know too much about this, so I'll let you kind of take the reins on this. But yeah, what happened here?
yeah, so Knox Dunn and his girlfriend or fiance, I'm not sure, their house caught on fire when they were out of town, and pretty much the way it sounds, it's a total loss. They've lost all their belongings that were in there, so they've started a GoFundMe for them. I think they had a goal of 50,000, and as of yesterday, I didn't look today, it was up to like 25. A lot of people have given to that, and Knox is a bullfighter in the PRCA. He's fought bulls in the PBR. He's a really good freestyle bullfighter. Everybody in that industry knows him and loves him, and just a great kid. And they could use your help. So you can go check it out. GoFundMe, and I'll put the link on our story so you guys can find it easier. But it's just cool to see how quickly too that the industry gets behind their own people. I've seen people put GoFundMe's up for folks, and it really doesn't garner anything. And I was blown away that I looked at it one day and then came back the next day to donate, and it had blown from like $2,000 to 25 in a day. And I mean, that's this industry. Just people get behind their people and take care of their own, and it's such a cool thing to see.
Yeah, certainly, especially at a time like this where it's a house fire. It's like one of the scariest things that can go wrong, and so. Hopefully nobody was injured, and at the end of the day, it's physical things, and yeah. But look, the rodeo world and the Western industry, they back their people, and they get behind them, and so yeah, certainly happy to hear that. If you've got some extra money and you want to help the GoFundMe, we'll put it in the show description.
Yeah, and then speaking of bullfighters, here's an interesting one. So Cody Webster is one of the toughest guys going. And I don't know, Barrett, if you know anybody that's done this. I know I don't. But he had surgery on his hand at 7 a.m. and was fighting bulls at 7 p.m. the same day.
I have not. I don't know anybody that's done that specifically. But it was impressive. Like, I didn't know that he was going to go back to – I saw it this morning that he had surgery and he was in the hospital. But then I saw another clip right before we jumped on that he was fighting bulls. And I immediately thought, okay, this is like from the other day or whatever. And they're like, no, this is tonight. This was 12 hours post-surgery. Like, I think post-surgery, I might even still be a little bit loopy, but he's out there fighting bulls. So, Look, good on him.
I get a feeling the doctor didn't sign off on that.
No, they didn't. I promise you. Like, I've been around enough doctors. They said, hey, look, could you just take a couple months off? And he's like, couple months? I'll take a couple hours. I'll take me a nap in the afternoon. But I'll be back. And I didn't see that it didn't look like a hard cast to me either. And I could be wrong, but it just looked like, and maybe there was some hard piece under there, but he had his hand up next to the bull like he would any other normal day. But yeah, surgery at 7, bullfighting at 7 p.m.
What a tough guy. I'm not that.
Yeah. Hey, look, there's a reason that he is where he is, and he is an award-winning bullfighter, and he gets selected to everything, it seems like. So, no, look, good on him. I love to see it. I mean, there's, like Kai Hamilton, was it last year or the year before? I think it was the year before. Got banged up, was in the hospital. Next night, riding bulls again. Just the way it goes.
Not even the next night. That was the morning of the shooting at UNLV, and so that was the performance that got canceled from round 1, and then they put it on an afternoon. He was leaving the hospital in his robe at 8 a.m. that morning, and then was competing. And not only did he compete, but he won all the ground money for the round because he was the only qualified ride. It wasn't just a ride either. I'm pretty sure it was 90. It was a stellar ride. And Oh my gosh, what a day. Just cowboy tough, man. Kai Hamilton, JB Mooney, Cody Webster. There's a list a mile long of guys that are that tough.
Yeah, no doubt. It was unbelievable, and this is kind of up there with it. Just surgery on your hand, and it was the performance before, right? He broke it the performance before, and then had surgery the next morning, and then was bullfighting the next night. So hey, look, no rest for the wicked.
That's right. Sweet. So let's just kind of hit real quick on what's going on. So this week we've got Calgary Stampede wraps up Sunday, I believe. the 12th. NFR Open is going to be the 14th through the 18th. California Rodeo Salinas, 16th through the 19th. Cheyenne Frontier Days, 17th through the 26th. And the Utah Days of 47, the 21st through the 25th. There's more rodeos than that, but these are kind of the highlight ones that, a lot of people are going to be following. So we just like to hit on those, remind guys and everybody what they can watch.
Yeah, no, we've got some really, really good ones coming up. And like I said, this is my favorite time of year to watch outside of the NFR. So lots of really, really great rodeos, lots of big moves that can be made, lots of NFR setups basically, right, that can be done in those rodeos that you just listed out. So it's going to be exciting here going into the end of July.
Yep, make or break the season for some of them. And then for our players, not make or break, but they sure can get some practice on winning some big stuff. We've got games for the Calgary Stampede on the 12th, rodeo picks. It's our free game, so they pick who they think is going to win in each event. If they get every one of them right in a performance, they win $10,000, and it doesn't cost anything to play.
Yeah, and it can happen. If you are really studying, you're really paying attention, it can happen. I need that $10,000, so I'm making my picks every time, I promise.
You bet. In a rodeo like Calgary, a lot of people don't really think about it, but a rodeo like Calgary is a little bit easier to do that because you're familiar with pretty much everybody that's in that championship round, and then there's fewer events to choose from because they don't have the team roping in the performance. So that's a big deal too. So in addition to Calgary, we have the picks for Salinas on the 19th. Utah Days of 47 picks are on the 25th, and then the very next day for the championship round at Cheyenne on the 26th.
On the 26th. Yeah, it's busy. We're going to be busy with the PFR. Jordan, where are you heading? And then I'll tell everybody where I'm heading.
I'll be in Salinas for that final round, so if you guys want to come and see the booth, we'll be set up next to the Rodeo Live stage. That's a lot of fun, too. I encourage everybody to come out and check that out. It's a pre-show, much like a college game day setup. We have analysts up there. They're going to break down the rodeo, break down what's going on in that performance as well as other ones around the country. And then they give away some prizes and stuff out there. We'll be giving away some stuff for PFR, and that's Salinas on the 19th. And then Barrett is actually going somewhere, too, after me.
I will. I'll be in Cheyenne. I'll be there on the 25th and 26th. I'll be at our booth right next to Rodeo Live. First time for me going to Cheyenne. So, I can't wait. Cheyenne and Calgary are both two that I really want to go to. I'm going to knock off Cheyenne this year. Next year I'll knock off Calgary. And I'm stoked. I couldn't be more excited. Really, really great rodeos to go to. Great games. This is the best part about being a rodeo fan outside of the NFR. This time right here, playing the games, watching the fantastic rodeos. All the competitors are on top of their game, truly. We're in it.
Yeah, we're excited. We want you guys to play along with us and come see us and watch rodeo and just be rodeo fans, and let's all grow the sport together.
Yeah, you bet, man. You bet. Love it. Well, Jordan, this was a great episode, dude. No, number 3 is in the books, and here's to many, many more, man. This was awesome.
Heck yeah, I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed every one of them. We're going to keep doing it, and you guys come along with us. Yeah, no doubt. And subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go follow us on Instagram and all the social media platforms. We're on there, and we'll see you in episode number 4. Yep. Adios, guys. See ya.